My fiancée told me I couldn't come to our own wedding venue tour because it would make her ex-boyfriend uncomfortable. Let me say that again, slower, so you understand how insane that sentence is. She didn't want me, her fiancé, the person she was supposedly marrying in 4 months, at the venue tour. Because her ex-boyfriend was coming instead. We were having dinner when she dropped it on me. Casual, like she was mentioning she needed to pick up milk. So I'm going to look at the Ashford estate tomorrow, she said, scrolling through her phone while stabbing at her salad. For the reception venue. I looked up from my pasta. Tomorrow? I thought we were doing that together on Saturday. Change of plans. Damien's only in town until Friday, so I figured we should go while he's here. He has really good taste, and I want his opinion on the space. Damien, her ex-boyfriend of 5 years. The one she dated all through college and 2 years after. The one she still talked to every week. The one whose Instagram she liked within seconds of him posting. Damien's going to our wedding venue tour, I said flatly. Yeah, is that weird? She finally looked up from her phone. He's really into event planning. Remember that party he threw last summer? It was gorgeous. And I'm not invited. Well, she set down her fork and gave me this patient smile. Like I was a child who needed something explained slowly. It would be kind of awkward, don't you think? You and Damien in the same space, talking about wedding stuff. He'd feel uncomfortable. He'd feel uncomfortable. Yeah, you know how it is. I set my own fork down and stared at her. Really stared at her, trying to figure out if this was a joke or some kind of test. Let me make sure I understand this correctly, I said. You want to take your ex-boyfriend to tour the venue for our wedding. And you don't want me there because it might make him uncomfortable. When you say it like that, it sounds bad. How else should I say it? She sighed like I was being difficult. Damien and I are friends. Good friends. He's been really supportive about the wedding, and he offered to help with planning. I thought it would be nice to get his input on the venue since he knows what he's doing. And I don't. I didn't say that. You literally just said he has good taste, and you want his opinion. Implying mine isn't valuable enough. You're twisting my words. She went back to her salad, conversation apparently over in her mind. The appointment's at 2. I'll take pictures for you. I sat there for a long moment, watching her eat like nothing was wrong. Like she hadn't just told me I was less important than her ex-boyfriend when it came to planning my own wedding. Okay, I finally said. She brightened immediately. Really? You're okay with it? Yeah, go ahead. Have fun. She leaned across the table and kissed my cheek. Thank you for being so understanding. This is why I love you. You're not one of those jealous, insecure guys. Right. I wasn't jealous or insecure. I was just realizing, in real time, that I'd spent 3 years with someone who had no concept of boundaries or respect. After dinner, she went to take a bath. I could hear her on the phone through the door, laughing. Talking to Damien, probably. Confirming their plans for tomorrow. I pulled out my laptop and opened a new document. Started making a list. Things that are hers. Clothes in the closet, about 40% of the space. Toiletries in the bathroom. The ugly lamp her mom gave us. Kitchen stuff she brought when she moved in. Her books on the shelf. Things that are mine. The apartment, my name on the lease. All furniture except the lamp. TV, electronics. The engagement ring I bought 6 months ago. Things we share. Nothing, actually. She'd moved into my place a year ago. Gradually taken over half my closet, most of the bathroom counter, the entire bedside table on her side. But legally, technically, none of it was hers. I opened a new browser tab and searched how to break an engagement. Clicked on a few articles. They all said the same thing. Be honest. Be direct. Return the ring if possible. Make a clean break. I thought about the ring. Platinum band, 1-carat diamond. Cost me $8,000. I'd saved for 6 months. Opened another tab. Engagement ring return policy. Most jewelers had a 30-day return window. I'd bought it 6 months ago. Too late for a refund. Maybe I could sell it. Get back 60%, 70% if I was lucky. My phone buzzed. Text from my best friend Marcus. Marcus, game tomorrow night? Me, can't. Wedding venue tour. Marcus, nice. Getting real now, huh? Me, except I'm not going. Damien is. 3 dots appeared immediately. Disappeared. Appeared again. Marcus, what? Me. She said it would make him uncomfortable if I was there. Marcus, are you fucking kidding me? Me, wish I was. Marcus, dude. Tell me you said no. Me, I said okay. Marcus, why? Me. Because I wanted to see if she'd actually do it. The dots appeared and disappeared several times. Marcus, you're testing her. Me. I'm giving her rope. Marcus. And when she hangs herself with it. Me. Then I'll know for sure. Marcus, know what? Me. That I'm making the right decision. Marcus. Oh shit. You're breaking up with her. Me. After tomorrow. Want to see this play out first. Marcus. You're cold-blooded man. I respect it. Marcus. Need a place to crash after? Me, probably. Marcus. My couch is yours. I put my phone away and closed the laptop. The bath water shut off. A few minutes later, she came out wrapped in a towel, skin flushed from the heat. I'm thinking about wearing that blue dress tomorrow, she said, going to the closet. The one with the open back. What do you think? The blue dress. The one she wore on our first date. The one she knew made her look incredible. Perfect choice, I said. She pulled it out and held it up against herself in the mirror. You really think so? I don't want to look like I'm trying too hard. You look beautiful in it. Damien will definitely appreciate it. She smiled at her reflection. That's sweet of you to say. I watched her admire herself and realized this moment right here was the ending. This was when I knew, completely and without doubt, that I was done. She wasn't thinking about me at all. Wasn't considering how any of this looked or felt from my perspective. She was focused entirely on impressing her ex-boyfriend at what should have been one of the most important planning moments for our wedding. And she saw nothing wrong with that. I'm going to bed, I said, standing up. Already? It's only 9:30. Long day. Tired. She kissed me goodnight. I kissed her back, tasting the mint of her toothpaste, and tried to remember the last time a kiss from her had made me feel anything. Couldn't recall. In bed, in the dark, I pulled out my phone and did more research. How to end a lease with a live-in partner. How to divide shared belongings. How to handle a broken engagement socially. Read through forums of people who'd been through breakups. Found stories similar to mine. Patterns of disrespect that built slowly over time until one day you woke up and realized you'd been tolerating behavior you swore you'd never accept. She fell asleep next to me, breathing softly, completely at peace. I stayed awake until almost 2 in the morning, planning. The next day, I went to work like normal. She texted me around noon. Her, leaving in an hour. So excited to see this venue. Me, have fun. Send pictures. Her, will do. Damien says hi BTW. Me, tell him I said hi back. Her, he thinks it's really cool that you're so secure about me having male friends. I stared at that text for a solid minute. Me, I'm a very secure person. Her, I know. It's one of the things I love about you. At 2 o'clock, I was in a meeting with my boss. Kept checking my phone under the table. No updates yet. 2:30, my phone buzzed. Her, photo of a grand ballroom with crystal chandeliers. Her, isn't it gorgeous? Her, Damien loves it. Says the lighting is perfect for photos. Her, photo of her and Damien standing together in front of a stone fireplace, both smiling. Her, he's so funny. Making me laugh the whole time. I zoomed in on the photo. She was touching his arm. Not dramatically, just her hand resting lightly on his forearm. Casual. Comfortable. The kind of touch you do with someone you're familiar with. He was looking at her, not the camera. That subtle smile of someone who's enjoying the moment more than they probably should. Me, looks great. You two seem to be having fun. Her, we are. The coordinator is giving us the full tour. There's a garden area for cocktail hour. Her, another photo, this time of just the garden. Her, Damien thinks we should do string lights out here. We, she said we. 3 o'clock. 3:30. 4 o'clock. The tour should have taken an hour, maybe 90 minutes. It had been 2 hours, and they were still there. 4:15, another text. Her, sorry this is taking so long. We grabbed coffee after and got to talking. Her, Damien has so many good ideas for the wedding. I'm taking notes. Her, probably be home around 6. That okay? Me, take your time. Her, you're the best. If you're still with me at this point, thank you. Because what happened next changed everything. I left work at 5, drove across town to the Ashford estate, parked in the lot, and walked up to the main building. The venue coordinator was at the front desk. Young woman, maybe 25, with a bright smile and a clipboard. Hi there, I said. I'm here to see the ballroom. My fiancée and her friend were touring it earlier today. Oh yes. She brightened. The 2 o'clock appointment. They just left about 20 minutes ago. Lovely couple. Lovely couple. I kept my expression neutral. Did they seem to like the space? Oh, they loved it. Already talking about booking it for next spring. Such a sweet story, too. Sweet story. How they were high school sweethearts who lost touch and then found each other again. She was almost in tears when she was telling me about it. The floor felt like it was tilting slightly. Right, I said. That story. Are you a family member? Did you want to see the space as well? No, I'm good. Just wanted to check in. Thanks for your help. I walked back to my car in a daze. High school sweethearts who lost touch and found each other again. She'd told the coordinator that she and Damien were getting married. I sat in my car and called Marcus. Hey man, what's up? She told the venue coordinator that she and Damien are the ones getting married. Silence. Marcus, I heard you. I'm just trying to process what you just said. She made up a whole story. Said they were high school sweethearts who reconnected. That's... He paused. That's actually insane. Yeah. So what are you going to do? I'm going to go home. I'm going to wait for her to get back. And I'm going to see what she tells me about how the tour went. And then I'm going to tell her we're done. Want me to come over? Be there for backup? No. I need to do this alone. All right. But I'm keeping my phone on. You need me? You call. Thanks, Marcus. I drove home and parked in my usual spot. Went upstairs to the apartment. Let myself in. Everything looked the same. Her shoes by the door. Her jacket on the coat rack. Her coffee mug in the sink from this morning. All of it would be gone soon. I sat on the couch and waited. 6:15, I heard her key in the lock. She came in glowing, cheeks flushed, eyes bright. Hey. She dropped her purse and came over to kiss me. Sorry I'm late. Lost track of time. How was it? Amazing. The venue is perfect. You're going to love it when you see it. Yeah? What did you like about it? She sat down next to me, still radiating energy. Everything. The ballroom is huge, but feels intimate. The garden is gorgeous. And the coordinator was so sweet and helpful. That's great. I'm glad you had a good time. Damien was really helpful too. He has such a good eye for these things. Made me think about details I wouldn't have considered. Like what? Like the lighting for photos, the flow from cocktail hour to dinner, where the DJ should set up. Practical stuff. Sounds like he knows what he's doing. He really does. I'm so glad I brought him instead of... She stopped. Instead of me. I finished for her. That's not what I was going to say. Wasn't it? She frowned. Why are you being weird? I'm not being weird. Just trying to understand why my fiancée spent 4 hours with her ex-boyfriend looking at our wedding venue, and then came home telling me how glad she was that he was there instead of me. It wasn't 4 hours. And I didn't say I was glad he was there instead of you. You were about to. You're twisting my words again. Am I? She stood up, frustrated. I don't know what you want me to say. You told me it was fine. You said to go have fun. Now you're acting like I did something wrong. Did you tell the coordinator that you and Damien were high school sweethearts getting married? Her face went completely white. The silence stretched between us like a physical thing. How? She started, then stopped. I drove over there after work. Wanted to see the venue for myself since I wasn't invited to the actual tour. The coordinator was very helpful. Told me all about the lovely couple who'd just booked a tour. Said you were almost in tears telling her your story. She opened her mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. I can explain. I'm sure you can. But I don't want to hear it. Please, just let me. No. I stood up. I'm done listening to explanations. Done accepting behavior that should be unacceptable. Done pretending that any of this is normal or okay. It was a misunderstanding. The coordinator assumed we were together and I didn't correct her. That's all. That's all. Yes. I didn't want to make it awkward by explaining the whole complicated situation. The complicated situation being that you're engaged to someone else, but brought your ex-boyfriend to tour your wedding venue. When you say it like that, it sounds exactly like what it is. She was crying now. Real tears, not the manipulative kind. I don't understand why you're being like this. I didn't do anything wrong. That's the problem. You genuinely don't see what's wrong with any of this. So what? You're just going to throw away 3 years because I went to look at a venue with a friend. I'm ending this because you've shown me, repeatedly, that you don't respect me or our relationship. Today was just the final confirmation. I walked to the bedroom and pulled out the duffel bag I'd packed that morning before work. Had been sitting in my car all day, waiting. She followed me. What is that? Where are you going? Marcus's place. For a few days. You need to start looking for a new apartment. What? No. You can't just kick me out. The lease is in my name. You moved into my place. Legally, I can absolutely ask you to leave. This is insane. You're being insane. I pulled the engagement ring box from my pocket and set it on the dresser. I'll be back Sunday to get more of my things. I'd appreciate it if you could start packing. You're breaking up with me. Over this. I'm breaking up with you because you care more about impressing your ex-boyfriend than respecting your fiancé. Because you lied to a venue coordinator about who you were marrying. Because you've shown me, in the clearest possible way, that I will never be your priority. That's not true. Then why did you tell her you and Damien were high school sweethearts? She had no answer for that. I picked up my bag and walked to the door. Wait, she said, her voice breaking. Can we at least talk about this? Please. I turned back to look at her one more time. She was standing in the middle of the bedroom, mascara running down her face, looking smaller somehow. There's nothing left to talk about. You made your choice today. Now I'm making mine. I walked out and closed the door behind me. In my car, I sat for a minute with my hands on the steering wheel, breathing. Then I started the engine and drove to Marcus's place. He opened the door with 2 beers in hand. Figured you'd need these, he said. You figured right. Inside, I told him everything. The venue coordinator's story, the confrontation, the ring on the dresser. Damn, he said when I finished. You really did it. Yeah. How do you feel? I thought about it. Lighter. That's good. That's healthy. My phone started buzzing. Call from her. I declined. It buzzed again. Text messages starting to flood in. Please come back. We need to talk about this. I can explain everything. You're being unfair. I love you. Don't throw us away like this. I turned my phone face down on the coffee table. She's going to keep trying, Marcus observed. I know. You gonna respond? Eventually. When I'm ready. We drank our beers in comfortable silence. For the first time in months, maybe years, I felt like I could breathe properly. Like I'd been holding my breath underwater and finally broke the surface. You made the right call, Marcus said. I know. And I did know. Completely. Without a doubt. Some things you don't come back from. And letting your ex-boyfriend tour your wedding venue while you pretend to be marrying him is definitely one of those things. I stayed at Marcus's place for 3 days. Ignored probably 50 calls and over 100 text messages. Let her voicemails pile up without listening to them. Watched her desperation grow with each unanswered message. The first day, the messages were apologetic. I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. Please come home so we can talk. The second day, they got defensive. You're overreacting. Nothing happened between me and Damien. You're throwing away 3 years over nothing. The third day, they turned angry. Fine. If you want to be childish and ignore me, go ahead. But you're going to regret this. On Monday morning, I went back to the apartment while she was at work. I timed it perfectly. She left at 8:30 for her job at the marketing firm. I arrived at 9. The apartment looked different. Messier, dishes in the sink, clothes on the floor, like she'd been living in chaos since I left. I went to the bedroom and started packing systematically. Clothes, toiletries, important documents, laptop, the expensive watch my dad gave me for graduation. Everything that mattered. I was loading the second box into my car when my phone rang. Her name on the screen. I answered. Where are you? Her voice was sharp. My boss just told me someone saw you at the apartment. Getting my things. You're really doing this. You're actually moving out. Yes. Can we please just talk? Face to face? Like adults. I thought about it for a moment. Fine. Tonight. 7 o'clock. At the apartment. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be there. I hung up and finished loading my car. That evening, I arrived at 6:45. Wanted to be settled before she got there. Wanted the home court advantage. She showed up at exactly 7, looking like she'd spent hours getting ready. Hair done, makeup perfect, wearing the dress I'd once told her looked beautiful on her. Hi, she said quietly, standing in the doorway like she needed permission to enter her own home. Come in. She sat on the couch. I stayed standing. Thank you for agreeing to talk, she started. I've been going crazy these past few days. What did you want to say? I want to apologize. Really apologize. What I did was wrong. I should never have brought Damien to that venue. I should never have let the coordinator think we were together. I messed up. Okay. She looked up at me, hopeful. Okay. I heard your apology. And nothing. You apologized. I heard it. That doesn't change anything. Her face fell. What do you mean it doesn't change anything? I mean I'm still done. The apology doesn't fix what's broken. But I said I was sorry. I admitted I was wrong. What more do you want? I sat down in the chair across from her. Not next to her. Keeping distance. I want you to understand why what you did was a problem. Not just apologize because I'm upset, but actually understand it. I do understand. Then explain it to me. She fidgeted with her hands. I brought my ex to look at our wedding venue, and that was inappropriate. I made you feel disrespected. Made me feel disrespected. Like my feelings are the problem, not your actions. That's not what I meant. Then say what you mean. She was quiet for a long moment. I don't know what you want me to say. That's the problem. You don't see it. Even now, you think this is about me being upset rather than you fundamentally not understanding appropriate boundaries. I understand boundaries. Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, you invited another man, a man you dated for 5 years, to help plan our wedding. You excluded me from something that should have been about us. You let a stranger think you were marrying him. And you came home excited to tell me how glad you were that he was there. I never said I was glad he was there instead of you. You were about to. Before you caught yourself. She stood up, pacing now. Okay, fine. Maybe I was. Maybe in that moment I was glad Damien was there, because he was actually excited about the venue, and you've been so checked out of the wedding planning. Checked out. Yes. Every time I try to discuss the wedding, you just say whatever you want, or that sounds fine. You don't care about any of it. Because you make every decision without me anyway. You picked the date without asking. You chose the color scheme. You invited people to the wedding party I've never met. Why would I bother having opinions when you're going to do what you want regardless? She opened her mouth to argue, then closed it. Oh my God, she said quietly. You're right. I know. I've been planning my wedding. Not our wedding. My wedding. Yes. She sat back down, looking genuinely shocked. How long have you felt this way? Months. Since you picked the date while I was at work and then told me about it over text. Why didn't you say anything? I did. You said I was being difficult and that someone had to make decisions or we'd never get anything done. She put her face in her hands. I've been awful. You've been selfish. Is that why you're leaving? Because I've been bad at including you in wedding planning? I'm leaving because you showed me that you care more about appearances and what other people think than you care about me. The venue tour wasn't about getting Damien's opinion. It was about showing him that you're still desirable, still interesting, still worth wanting. Her head snapped up. That's not true, isn't it? You got dressed up for him, wore the blue dress, spent 4 hours with him, came home glowing and excited. When's the last time you looked at me like that? I love you. Maybe. But you love the idea of yourself more. And you love knowing that Damien still wants you most of all. She was crying now. You don't know what you're talking about. Then tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you weren't trying to make him jealous or regret losing you. Tell me that's not why you wanted him at the venue tour. Silence. That's what I thought, I said quietly. It's not like I'm still in love with him. Maybe not. But you still want him to be in love with you. She wiped her eyes. What happens now? Now you find a new place to live. You have until the end of the month. That's 3 weeks. Yes. Where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem to solve. You're really going to make me move out of our home. My home. You moved into my apartment, remember? Your name was never on the lease. She looked around like she was seeing the place for the first time. I've lived here for a year, and now you'll live somewhere else. What about the wedding? There is no wedding. But we already sent save the dates. People are planning to come. My parents already booked their flights. Then you'll need to uninvite them. You want me to tell everyone we broke up? I want you to take responsibility for your choices. She stood up abruptly. Fine. Fine. You want me to move out? I'll move out. You want to end the engagement? Consider it ended. But don't act like you're some victim here. You checked out of this relationship months ago. You're right. I did. The moment you made it clear that I was just a supporting character in your life instead of a partner. That is so unfair. What's unfair is spending 3 years with someone who made me feel like I should be grateful she chose me. Like I should just accept whatever scraps of attention and respect she felt like giving. I never made you feel that way. You made me feel exactly that way. Every single day. We stared at each other across the living room. 3 years of relationship reduced to this moment. This argument. This ending. I should go, she finally said. Probably. She grabbed her purse and walked to the door. Paused with her hand on the handle. For what it's worth, she said without turning around. I really did love you. I know. You just loved yourself more. She left. I sat in the quiet apartment for a long time after she was gone. 2 weeks passed. She moved most of her stuff out gradually. A box here, a suitcase there. We coordinated via text, so we wouldn't have to see each other. Marcus let me stay on his couch until she was completely gone. Said I could take as long as I needed. You doing okay? He asked one night over pizza. Yeah, better than I expected, actually. No regrets. None. Not even a little. I thought about it. I regret not ending it sooner. Does that count? He laughed. That definitely counts. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Hey, this is Damien. Got your number from Chelsea. I think we should talk. I showed Marcus the message. Her ex wants to talk to me. Oh, this should be good. You gonna respond? Maybe. What do you think he wants? Probably to clear his conscience or some shit. I typed back, sure. When? Damien, tomorrow? Coffee shop on 5th Street. Noon? Me. See you there. The next day, I showed up at the coffee shop 15 minutes early. Wanted to be settled before he arrived. Damien walked in at exactly noon. Tall, good-looking, confident. The kind of guy who looked like he should be dating someone like Chelsea. He saw me and walked over. Extended his hand. Thanks for meeting me, he said. I shook his hand. What did you want to talk about? He sat down across from me. I wanted to apologize. For what? For the venue tour. I didn't know the full situation. Chelsea told me you were fine with it, that you couldn't make it because of work. She made it sound like a casual thing. And you believed her. I wanted to believe her. He paused, looking uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie to you. I still have feelings for Chelsea. We broke up 5 years ago, and I've never really gotten over it. So when she invited you to tour a wedding venue, you jumped at the chance. Yeah, I did. I thought maybe. I don't know what I thought. That she was having second thoughts about marrying you. That maybe I still had a shot. At least he was honest. Did she give you any indication that she wanted to be with you? I asked. He looked down at his coffee. Kind of. She was flirty. Kept touching my arm, laughing at everything I said. At one point she told the venue coordinator we were the ones getting married. I know. I heard about that. You did. I went to the venue after you two left. The coordinator was very helpful in filling me in. He winced. Look, nothing happened between us. We didn't kiss or anything. It was just charged. Like there was possibility in the air. And what did you do with that possibility? I texted her that night. Told her I had a good time and that if she ever changed her mind about getting married, I'd be there. Of course he did. What did she say? She said she needed time to think. That she was confused about what she wanted. I leaned back in my chair. When did you text her this? Thursday night. The day of the venue tour. And when did she tell you we broke up? Friday morning. She called me crying. Said you'd ended things. Asked if she could stay with me for a few days. My blood went cold. Did she stay with you? No. I told her that wouldn't be appropriate. That she needed to figure out her own stuff before dragging me into it. Smart man. Why are you telling me all this? I asked. Because I feel like shit about it. I knew she was engaged. I knew you existed. But I went anyway because I wanted her to choose me. And now I'm realizing that's exactly what she wanted. She wanted both of us wanting her. She wanted the validation. Yeah, that sounds right. For what it's worth, I think you made the right call. Ending it. She's not ready to be married to anyone. She's still too caught up in playing games and seeing how much attention she can get. I appreciate you saying that. He stood up. I won't be talking to her anymore. Told her yesterday that I can't be her backup plan or her ego boost. She needs to figure out who she is without needing constant validation from men who used to love her. Good for you. Good for both of us. He extended his hand again. Sorry for my part in all this. I shook it. Apology accepted. After Damien left, I sat in the coffee shop for another hour, processing everything he'd told me. She'd asked to stay with him. The day after I broke up with her, she'd called her ex-boyfriend and asked to move in with him. My phone buzzed. Text from Chelsea. Damien told me you two talked. I can't believe he threw me under the bus like that. I stared at that message for a long moment. Then I blocked her number. 3 months later, my apartment felt completely like mine again. I'd repainted the bedroom, bought new furniture, got rid of anything that reminded me of her. Marcus still came over every week for pizza and games. Kelly, my sister, had started including me in family dinners again. She admitted she'd stopped inviting both of us because Chelsea always made the events awkward. She'd complain about everything. Kelly told me over dinner one Sunday. The food, the conversation, how long we stayed. I was honestly relieved when you two broke up. Why didn't you say anything? Would you have listened? Probably not. I'd started dating again. Nothing serious, just casual coffee dates and dinners. Getting used to being single again. Remembering what it felt like to have a conversation where I wasn't walking on eggshells. One Thursday evening, I was at a bookstore when I ran into her. Chelsea was in the self-help section, holding a book about healing after breakups. She saw me at the same time I saw her. "Hi," she said quietly. "Hi." We stood there awkwardly for a moment. "How have you been?" she asked. "Good. You?" "Okay. Getting there." She held up the book. "Doing some work on myself." "That's good. I've been in therapy. Talking about everything. Why I did what I did. Why I needed so much validation from outside sources. I'm glad you're working on that. My therapist says I was trying to keep you as security while testing if I could do better. That I was treating the relationship like a safety net while I looked for a trapeze." "Accurate metaphor. Sounds like you're learning a lot," I said. "I am. And I." She took a breath. "I wanted to apologize. Really apologize. Not the half-hearted one I gave you before. I was selfish and disrespectful. I treated you like you were lucky to be with me instead of recognizing that I was lucky to have someone who actually cared. I appreciate that. Do you think?" She paused. "Do you think there's any chance we could try again? Eventually? Once I've done more work on myself?" There it was. The question I'd been half expecting since the moment I saw her. "No," I said gently. "I don't think so." Her face fell. "Can I ask why?" "Because I learned something important after we broke up. I learned that I'd rather be alone than be with someone who makes me feel small. And you made me feel small every day without even realizing it. I'm different now. I'm working on it. I believe you. And I hope you become the person you want to be. But that person and I aren't going to be together." She nodded slowly, tears forming in her eyes. "I really did love you. I know I had a terrible way of showing it, but I did. I know. But love isn't enough when respect is missing. Did you ever love me? Really?" I thought about it. About the 3 years we'd spent together. The good moments and the bad. I loved the person I thought you were. I loved the potential I saw in us. But I don't think I ever really knew you. The real you was always performing for someone. "That's fair," she whispered. "I hope your therapy helps. I hope you figure out who you are when you're not trying to be what someone else wants." "Thank you. And I'm sorry. For everything." "I know." She left the bookstore. I watched her go, feeling nothing but a distant sense of relief that this chapter was truly closed. I bought my book and went home. That night, I had dinner with a woman named Rachel I'd been seeing casually for a few weeks. Smart, funny, worked as an architect. We'd met through mutual friends. "Over pasta and wine," she asked. "What are you looking for? In a relationship, I mean." I thought about it. About Chelsea. About the 3 years I'd spent accepting less than I deserved. Someone who makes me feel like an equal partner. Someone who includes me in decisions instead of just informing me after the fact. Someone who wouldn't dream of bringing their ex to tour our wedding venue. Rachel laughed. "That's oddly specific. I learned through experience." "Well, for what it's worth, I would absolutely invite you to tour any wedding venue. Even though we've only been on like 6 dates and wedding talk is way premature. I appreciate that commitment to proper protocol." We talked for another 2 hours. About work, family, embarrassing childhood stories. Easy conversation. Comfortable. Real. When I got home that night, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Hope. Not hope that Rachel and I would necessarily work out long-term. Just hope that there were people in the world who knew how to treat their partners with basic respect and consideration. Hope that I'd finally learned what I wouldn't accept. Hope that the next time I said yes to forever, it would be with someone who actually wanted to build a life with me instead of just casting me in the supporting role of their life story. I pulled out my phone and scrolled to the photos from 3 months ago. Found the picture of the engagement ring I'd sold. Got back about $5,000 for it. Less than I'd paid, but more than it was worth as a symbol of a relationship that never should have happened. Deleted the photo. Deleted all the photos of Chelsea. Cleared the chat history. Removed her contact completely. Closed that chapter of my life the way it deserved to be closed, completely, and without looking back. My phone buzzed. Text from Rachel. "Had a great time tonight. Same time next week?" Me, absolutely. Maybe we can actually choose the restaurant together this time instead of you just telling me where to meet you. Rachel, wow. Revolutionary concept. Equal participation in decision-making. What will they think of next? Me, crazy, right? Rachel, it's almost like that's how healthy relationships work or something. I smiled and put my phone away. Turned on some music. Poured myself a drink. Sat on my couch in my apartment that was entirely mine. 3 months ago, I'd been engaged to someone who didn't respect me. 2 months ago, I'd been sleeping on my best friend's couch, trying to figure out what went wrong. Tonight, I was exactly where I was supposed to be. Single, clear-headed, and finally understanding that being alone was infinitely better than being with someone who made you feel alone. The best decision I ever made was walking away from someone who thought I should be grateful for breadcrumbs. And the best thing I ever learned was that I deserved the whole damn meal. If this story resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Sometimes the hardest part isn't walking away, it's realizing you should have done it sooner.